Hello YouTube and world, it's BirdoPrey5 and I've got some breaking news about the Star Trek Picard series. Now this story was released early this morning. The photograph, which you might have saw in the thumbnail, in which I will go into detail, was actually leaked late last night. But this is Star Trek Picard producer reveals 7 new details about the series, and it is actually from Entertainment Weekly, perhaps second only to Variety in quality, I'm using air quotes, quality entertainment news, but I mean, this is a step up from most of the sources you will find online. So yeah, this is definitely not rumor. This is legit stuff. So obviously the first thing we want to look at, I mean, there's words. We'll get to the words later. This is the first real picture of the Star Trek Picard series. Surprisingly, he is again on the vineyard. The dog is there, and I've got some dog news as well. Let's get a closer look at this photo, and let's see what it's telling us. So here we go. We've got Patrick Stewart, obviously playing Captain Picard. Definitely looks older. Does not appear to be sporting the look he had in All Good Things in the future. There is some sort of pin or insignia he's wearing. He has a cane, a walking stick, if you will. That seems a bit weird, right? 24th century, almost 25th century tech. You would think that they've come past using canes, but I suppose Patrick Stewart, he's an old-fashioned guy. I mean, he has an artificial heart, but he needed that. I mean, otherwise he'd die. But he's, you know, he's on a vineyard, I guess he likes to do things old school. You know, all the generations of Picard men used a walking stick, so I guess he's happy to use one. And, of course, we have our dog. Now, 2 things about this dog. First, there was some debate when we saw the dog from behind in the first image as to the breed of the dog. There can be no further debate. This is clearly what is commonly referred to as a pit bull. Okay? Certain people, anti-tracker, believed it was a French bulldog. But if you Google French bulldog, this is what you come up with. Okay, that's not just French bulldog puppies, mind you. This is the entire breed French bulldog. So you can see quite clearly that even the bigger French bulldogs, like in this picture, this is not that dog. Okay. Then this is a French bulldog versus an English bulldog. This is the English bulldog, but it's neither case is it a bulldog, right? It is in fact a pit bull. Yes, this is a pit bull. It is a pit bull with its ears clipped. Okay, because pit bulls naturally look like this. Their ears flop over. Some humans have their ears clipped to make them look meaner, but a natural-born pit bull would look like this. So it's telling. It's a bit telling, or perhaps just poorly thought out, as to why Picard would have a pit bull with its ears clipped. I would kind of hope by the 24th century people weren't clipping the ears of their dogs. You know, that's a controversial practice even today. And if humans were to progress beyond so many issues that we have, you would think that, you know, cutting off parts of your animal to make it look meaner, that would be something that probably would have stopped come the 24th century. So I'm a bit surprised. Also, be honest, the choice of a pit bull, it just doesn't scream Picard. It does not scream Captain Picard. I don't know what. Certainly, he's not a beagle person. I know that much. Honestly, I didn't picture Picard as a dog person at all. But whatever. Maybe the dog was his brother's dog, or that we never saw. Well, obviously his brother's dog would be dead by now, because even if the brother had just got a dog, it'd be 25 years plus since yeah. So I don't know. I have no idea. Maybe he found the dog, but I have confirmation on the dog's name. Yes, I was the first YouTuber to give you a definitive answer on whether the Orville was canceled or not. And now I am the first YouTuber to give a definitive answer on the dog's name. I have it. It is, in fact, the dog will be called Number 1. Yes, you heard it here. You heard it on the Bird of Prey 5 channel first. Captain Picard, or Admiral Picard, or just Citizen Picard in this timeline. His dog's name is, in fact, Number 1. And I think that's probably a good choice. But let's zoom in on a couple of things. Here we have a zoom in of this pin he's wearing right where his communicator might be. By the way, look at these clothes. I mean, honestly, these look like clothes people would wear today. There's nothing futuristic about this at all. Not even minorly futuristic, which is a little surprising. I'm not against it, but yeah. I mean, I could see a man of his age wearing that today, walking down the street. So. But here's the pin. I can't immediately identify it. I imagine it's probably something we've seen before, but maybe if you know what this pin is, please go ahead and put it in the comments. I'd love to hear. I'm not sure what it refers to. But I also zoomed in on Number 1 over here. And look at Number 1. Man, Number 1, a lot of muscle. A lot of muscle. But yes, you can clearly see that Number 1's collar is indeed the Starfleet. Now, the Starfleet insignia has a hole in it, as Thomas Ponce has pointed out to me. But this is the Delta shield that is in the shape, the general shape of the Starfleet insignia. You can tell it's on a bad angle, but you can make it out if you're looking in HD. That is the Delta shield as the same A that they use in the Picard series logo. And again, this dog and dog collar is exactly what you would see today. So it's a little surprising. And also, I think they've clipped the dog's tongue. That is a clipped tongue. Okay, a pit bull would have a longer tongue. This tongue has been clipped and shaped. Again, a terrible practice. Even today, the fact that they're doing this, I don't know. Do the showrunners not understand that this dog has been mutilated? Or is this going to be part of the story? I'm not sure. I don't have the details on Number 1's backstory here. But I gotta say, it looks out of place. I guess it's he looks out of place. So yeah, Number 1 here. Hopefully Number 1 is feeling good these days. I'm sure the dog is not longer in any pain. Maybe it was done under anesthesia, hopefully. But it's very, very disturbing just to see that. So let's go back to the article here. Let's actually read it. Star Trek Picard team is pulling back the veil on the upcoming series that returns Patrick Stewart to the role he played for 7 seasons on the 1990s, started in 88, syndicated hit series Star Trek The Next Generation, and in 4 feature films, some of which people prefer to forget. Executive producer Alex Kurtzman and showrunner Michael Chabon gave Entertainment Weekly some new hints about Jean-Luc Picard's journey in the upcoming CBS All Access series, also Amazon Prime outside the United States. Until now, the only teaser has shown Picard in retirement at his family's vineyard in France and included a cryptic voiceover suggesting the Admiral left Starfleet after he led an armada on a rescue mission to the doomed planet Romulus. Here are the things we learned. Here are 7 things we learned. So we've got 7 questions and answers, or at least seven answers here. Number 1, yes, Picard is going back into space. I didn't have this question. I mean, it is called Star Trek. I assumed we would see Picard in space at some point, but I don't know why this is, but let's read it. Strangely enough for a Trek series, nothing spacey has yet been shown regarding the new show. Well, that's easy to explain. Space takes money. It takes, it takes money and time to generate space scenes. Filming on a vineyard, that footage can be put out the next day. So I'm not surprised we haven't seen any space footage, which is entirely terrestrial marketing images so far. Well, there's really only been 1, possibly 2 marketing images, if you want to count the trailer separate from the 1 still image that they had given us before. Even our basic questions, like can you at least say if the show is set on a spaceship, were dodged. Wow. As we asked the producers. But Kurtzman confirms the new Star Trek will live up to its name. And if you can't believe Alex Kurtzman, then, well, you're probably smart. Events began to unfold that conspire to take Picard back to the stars, Kurtzman says. They conspire to take Picard back to the stars. It's like he tries to leave, but they're pulling him back in. Number 2. But that doesn't mean Picard is returning to Starfleet. He will, brackets, go to space, Kurtzman adds. But not in a way that anyone expects. You see, this is what worries me. How would I expect him to go into space? I would expect he'd be transported up to a starship, or perhaps walk into a shuttle and go into space. That's how you go into space. So how is it not in a way that anyone expects? Nobody expects it. It's like the Spanish Inquisition. Nobody's going to expect it. You know what I'm thinking? The Mikey Spock time suit falls on his head, and he has to go into space with it. I mean, that's the only thing I can think of that no one would expect. Although, now that I've said it, I suppose I've broken the rule. So what does that mean? It sounds like Picard won't simply get drafted back into commanding a starship, especially considering that what Kurtzman reveals next. What does he reveal next? Number 3. Picard seeks to fight a specific injustice. The patriarchy. I don't know. Yet won't have his usual resources. Because he's no longer in Starfleet, he no longer carries the weight of that behind him, Kurtzman says. So then, he is not going to be in Starfleet the entire series? Okay, well that is something new. So he's not going back. He is not going back to Starfleet. In some ways, it's easier to be a great man, again in brackets for some reason, meaning that Kurtzman didn't actually say that, when you're a captain. But it's an entirely different thing when you don't have an army behind you. An army? Starfleet's not the military. When you want to get something done and fight an injustice, how do you do that when you're only really one man? Well, let's see. Technology. Technology helps. Having his name recognition helps. Although that one idiot we saw in the trailer didn't seem to know who he was. So maybe they don't use photographs in the 24th century anymore. So that's interesting. Number 4. His quest will be a serialized story in the first season, unlike the episodic The Next Generation. What? I mean, I get it. Was anyone doubting that it was going to be serialized? I mean, I don't think anybody does episodic TV shows these days. And I'd say The Next Generation was quasi-episodic. Certainly, you can't put a Season 2 Next Gen episode in between a Season 6 or Season 7 Next Gen episode and not think anything has changed. There were a few long-running plot twists, but nothing like Deep Space Nine. Anyway, they say, which isn't necessarily new for Star Trek. Of course it's not new for Star Trek. It's been happening since the 3rd series, since Deep Space Nine. And almost since TNG. Chabone said, noting that Discovery was often serialized too. First off, I've never heard of this Discovery. But if he means STD, oh yes, it wasn't often serialized. It was 100% serialized. There was nothing episodic about it. And the ones that tried to be failed even more miserably. But this is new for Picard. The actor, he's been in serialized stuff before. Okay, nobody cares. Nobody in the audience is like, oh my god, Picard's in a serialized Star Trek. I can't believe it. It's so great. I've got to buy 2 subscriptions. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Number 5. Man, these are taking a long time. Picard is haunted and older. Really, he's older. But fundamentally remains the same character. Well, that seems to be in direct contradiction to what Patrick Stewart himself said on stage in Las Vegas last year, that this was a very different Picard. But fine, let's read on. There are many things that haunt Picard, Kurtzman teases. Fucking Kurtzman. Adding that the ill-fated Romulus mission is just one of those things. And Chabon notes the series will incorporate that the character is a different age. Holy crap! 25 years later, you're going to tell me that's a different age? I had no idea. I thought he was the same age as at the end of Nemesis. Shocking news! He's a lot older. Oh, yeah, 1/4 century is a lot older for a human. He's a lot older, and we're not shying away from that at all. We're dealing with a man who is in a very different place in his life, Chabon says. Yeah, he was captain of the flagship of the Federation, and now, at best, he's retired and working on a vineyard. We got that already from the very little you showed us. Yet at the same time, Picard will still be the man you know and love. So, what? It was terribly, terribly important to us that he remains fundamentally Picard, Kurtzman said. You will not see a version that betrays the man we loved from the Next Generation. You didn't love him in The Next Generation. You didn't watch The Next Generation. You didn't give a shit about Star Trek The Next Generation. We're not doing that. But we wanted to out a character with the level of morality and leadership and who always does the right thing no matter the circumstances. We wanted to put that to the test. That sounds like any given Next Generation storyline. So, Captain Picard, I would say then, is not the evil leader of Section 31. Although, like Alex Kurtzman has previously told us, Spock would never appear in STD. And it took one season for that to become a total lie. So, I don't know. Should we believe anything he says? Number 6. Other Next Generation actor appearances are not being ruled out. Well, thankfully. The producers just want to make sure they're not, cheesy. Oh, well, what would you consider cheesy? An elevator scene that's stolen from the Orville? Turbo lifts that go around like a Six Flags Adventure roller coaster? Is that cheesy? Because it seems pretty cheesy to me that you have droids repairing ships in a pre-TOS Enterprise. That seemed a bit cheesy. You're worried about being cheesy. When did this start? What we don't want to do is just throw on cameos. Kurtzman says, yeah, because the audience might like that too much, right? There would have to be an incredibly specific story reason. Again, in the brackets, for them to be there. How about the specific story reason is that that's what the fans want to see? How about that? Even if it's just Geordi dropping in and saying hello, visiting his former captain. Telling him about his wife that he had in All Good Things, the final episode of The Next Generation. Geordi finally got married. Maybe his wife is still there. Former Next Gen star Jonathan Frakes was previously announced as directing 2 episodes in the first season. But there's no word on if he appears on camera. Well, at least there's no word, and not saying he doesn't. Because if they skip on the opportunity to at least have Riker get on the comm and say hello, or it's good to see you again, Jean-Luc, they've really practicing negligence, Star Trek negligence in the first degree. The show's new regular cast members, I don't know these names, are not playing any familiar next-gen characters, Kurtzman confirms. Again, I don't think anybody was worried about that. I don't think anybody thought for a second that Harry Treadaway, whoever the hell he is, would be playing Data or Geordi or, I don't know, Riker. Nobody was worried. And finally, number 7. Stewart as Picard is better than you've ever seen him. Wow, that is a high mark. The quality of Patrick's acting, if anything, has gotten even better over time. You mean perhaps like a fine wine? And he was already a master, Chaban says. Yes, well, I think we all agree Patrick Stewart is perhaps the best actor in the Trek universe. Classical actor. Sure, doesn't mean he's the best character, the best captain necessarily. He's good, very good, but nobody has ever complained about Patrick Stewart's acting ability in his 20 plus years of Star Trek career. He has an ability to hold you riveted even when he's just sitting and listening. So you're going to tell me there's going to be a lot of sitting and listening. Naturally, Picard is always the best when he looks engaged in italics. Got it. I get it. Engaged. Of course, he says engage, but that's okay. That is okay. The Star Trek Picard panel is Saturday at Comic-Con, and Entertainment Weekly will have full coverage. Okay, as for number 7, like I said, nobody was worried about Patrick Stewart's acting ability. This was not news. It's like saying, number 8, Patrick Stewart is still a male in the series. Nobody was worried about that. Okay, you just threw in a 7th point for no particular reason. It's disturbing. Okay, I wish it the best. I hope for the best. I will watch it. I will hope beyond hope that Star Trek Picard is a good or great even Star Trek series. Mediocre, anything above STD level would be great. I am not convinced it can be done by the team that's there. But it's not Patrick Stewart that's the problem, right? It's going to be the scripts. It's not going to be the acting ability that I'm doubting. It's the scripts I'm doubting. It's the producing, the directing I'm doubting. We will see. So that's the breaking news. And don't forget that this dog is number 1. Number 1, Picard's little buddy. Number 1. He keeps the owls away. Yes, like in the future, owls, like in Futurama, owls have become pests. They peck away. I know they don't peck, but they've learned to peck in the 24th century, and they peck away all the grapes. So number 1 has to run through the vineyard at night, scaring away the owls. That has been confirmed fact. So, guys, if you've enjoyed this, like, share, tell your friends. Do check out birdoprey5.com, your one-stop shop for all your Bird of Prey 5 needs. If you come there, you'll see the last video that I've uploaded. You can donate by clicking on the Bird of Prey or donate. You can donate on PayPal or on Streamlabs. You should follow my channel, Prey5 channel, and the Birdo Prey 5X channel, which is a much smaller kind of experimental Birdo Prey 5 channel for stuff I'm not uploading to the main channel. You can go to my Discord. It's open to everybody. You can go to my forum, Joe's Ultimate Off Topic Forum, JUOT.net. You can follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Gab, BitChute, and Minds. Subscribe to me on Subscribestar. That's what I use instead of, Patreon. That's right. That's what I use instead of Patreon. Thank you, Mamo Prey. That's how far I've put Patreon out of my mind. Check out Birdo Prey 5 merchandise on my Teespring store. You can check me up on Steam. You can check out the Republic of Karoga on nationstates.net. If you're going to buy anything on Amazon, Amazon Smile, Amazon Canada, Amazon UK, or Lego anywhere in the world, please come and use my affiliate links. It doesn't cost you a dime, but it does help my channel. And if you wanted to buy the original Make Klingons Great Again hat that was available through Amazon, you can click this link and get it. But check out my Teespring store, because we've just added our own version. Where are they? There they are. Make Klingons Great Again hats. They were at the top of the page yesterday. Here we go. I mean, granted, this is not the best look because they just threw red text. But this is embroidered text. It will look much better than this picture. We have it as a what they call a dad cap for some reason, a snapback, and for some reason the picture of the trucker's hat isn't showing right now. But there's a trucker's hat, a snapback hat, and a dad cap with the Make Klingons Great Again in the original TOS Star Trek font. So that's actually even nicer than the one on the Amazon link. So yeah, check out the Shop O'Prey here at Teespring and at birdofprey5.com. Thank you all for watching. We'll talk to you guys later in the day. Qapla'! Thank you all for watching my video. Please remember to comment, like, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit that bell icon. Without it, you won't get notifications of new videos. Check out birdofprey5.com, the new home of everything Bird of Prey 5 on the web. You can also check out my forum at juot.net. I'm also on social media, on Facebook, Twitter, and Gab. If you'd like to make a donation, check out paypal.me/birdofprey5 or on birdofprey5.com. Take care.